What is up, guys? Jake here with the next Vainglory video, and this one is a hero build series. I am going to talk about how I build heroes, and if it's a hero that I can go crystal power or weapon power, I'm going to give you both in the same video. No sense separating it into two. And Taka is one of those. I thought I would start with Taka. It was fitting because Taka is one of my first heroes that I really started playing and actually having a build with. When I do these, I'm also going to talk about their abilities and what I tend to do. So let's just start with that because it does not change regardless of the build I'm doing on Taka. First thing, obviously, you want to grab your A ability. You're going to jump into that and go ahead and starting your farming. The ability next, you want to go ahead and unlock it. That's your escape. Helps you get away from the enemies and all that good stuff. Then you're going to go ahead and grab. I think it's 2 or 3. Let's see. That's a level 2, 3, 4. I think it makes you go there, 5 and 6. You're going to unlock your ultimate. Bottom line, you're going to do A and C, A in your ultimate, max them out as quickly as you can. When you have to do the B ability after you unlock it, you do the B ability. So pretty straightforward there. As far as the build goes, if I'm going, I like to go Crystal Power Taka now. I really do. I think it fits my playstyle better. And strangely enough, you guys are going to call me crazy. And let me interject this here. I'm not the professional. I'm not going to tell you that something in my build might not make sense to you. I'm just telling you it works for me and I like it. You guys can try it. If you don't like it, that's cool too. I start off with working towards a tension bow when I build this. I will grab that. I will work. I'll grab my 6 sins. I will grab my piercing spear, and then I will grab my tension bow out of that. 2 reasons. One is the early game weapon power actually makes farming tremendously easy. So much more easy. If you go straight crystal power, I mean, you will spend 2 days in the jungle trying to just do a farming lane, a farming rotation. And 2, tension bow is overpowered early game. It's very, very strong in the first, and you can get it so quickly. And by the time I'm level 6, I've got tension bow, and I'm looking good. And you can just burst down with your ultimate in a tension bow. You can burst down someone that's not prepared or built any defense. So I start with a tension bow there. From there, I immediately switch over, and of course, I grab boots. I'll grab boots probably before I finish my tension bow, just because you need them to get around. From there, I'll switch over and I'll grab a few crystal bits. Actually, excuse me, back up here. I'll grab a crystal bit. Sometimes, depending on how the match is going during the actual crystal or actual detention bow build, or maybe directly after it, I will grab that swift shooter. It helps with farming again. It helps with early game fights. To have that extra attack speed is really a big deal. So grab that. Then the next thing I'll do is grab that blazing salvo, and obviously you can tell I'm going towards this alternating current. Now, a lot of people will go towards aftershock first, and I understand that. The reason I go for alternating current first is because of the attack speed. I've already got that weapon power built in. Attack speed early game is important. It helps with farming. It helps with all of that. So I go ahead and get alternating current out of the way. It's not terribly powerful when you first get it because a lot of it's based on your crystal power damage, and you don't have a lot of crystal power. That's all you've got, as a matter of fact, is that 50. But from there, I go right into building my aftershock. I will go the crystal bit and the eclipse prism usually first, then grab the chronograph. Another reason I like doing the aftershock is because of that. Because of the chronograph, it gives me a little bit of energy recharge and that cooldown. In this build, your abilities are everything really. You're really putting out a lot of damage when you hit them there. So go for that aftershock. After I get those 2 things, it's defense time. Almost always, I will go for a fountain of renewal. There are some occasions if everybody was weapon damage, I may go to an armor, but almost always I go for that fountain of renewal. I'll get the life spring first and then get that shield. Ended up with there. Now at this point, you've got some leeway. Obviously, guys, don't neglect your boots. You want to keep your boots up while you're doing this. But at this point, I can see an argument for a lot of different things. The Eve of Harvest, I can see an argument for that. One thing I love about it is the extra energy recharge. You almost will never be out of power if you have Aftershock and Eve. Plus, you've obviously got the lifesteal, and that's big. It keep you up in fights. If the enemy team is really building a lot of shields, Aegis is against you, Broken Myth, no question about it. Grab that. If you're fighting against a team that's retreating a lot, moving around a lot, I could even see an argument for Frostburn, or if they're just simply not defending against you for crystal power, a Shatterglass. I mean, it bumps up that's going to affect your alternating current, and you're going to have just a lot of burst damage. So for that very, very last item, which is only going to come into play if you get to pretty late game, guys. This is a lot of gold you're spending here, and it's going to take a while for you to get it all done. So if you get to that point, You can just sort of assess the situation, see who you're going against, see how the fight's going, what they're defending against, and go from there. But that is pretty much my Crystal Power Taka build. He is not as quite as strong as he used to be, but I still play with him. I still like him, and I think he is still a very, very viable hero, especially with a Crystal Power build. If you've got a nice, a strong, weapon power laner, a Ringo or something like that, maybe a Jewel laner, it's a great build. So from there, let's talk about the weapon power build. Sometimes you'll have a Crystal Power, laner, and you want to go weapon power, a Celeste or something like that. It all starts the same for me. I go with the tension bow. So I'm going through getting the 6 sins, getting the piercing spear, and getting that tension bow. Again, it's just so powerful early game. It helps out with minions. It helps out with all that stuff. And then either immediately after or during that, go ahead and buy yourself a Swift Shooter. From there, a couple of ways you can go, but honestly, I actually like now getting Breaking Point with Taka. So I go down and get that Swift Shooter again because of the attack speed. I like it, but also because of the changes on Taka. That critical strike is a big deal as well now. So getting that is a big help. And then if you go Breaking Point from there, I like to really go a lot of defense. I'll go right into it. Of course, you'll have your boots at some point throughout this as well. Don't neglect your boots. But same thing, I'll go for a fountain right out of the gates, get that done. If I'm going against a Cruel or something, I might even go like an Atlas Pauldron, get that done. If I'm going against an Arden or something along those lines, or just, maybe a Catherine that's stunning a lot, I'll go Crucible. I mean, I'll go 2 inline defenses on this. The reason, in my opinion, is because with a CP Taka, I'm in and out a lot more. I'm dumping in, I'm dumping out. I never seem to run out of power because I've got those abilities that recharge. There's a lot of things that factor into this, but it seems like when I'm in a weapon power build, I always end up having to just stand there and auto attack and stutter step and trade shots with them and trying to get out that way. So I definitely recommend that. From this point, I would assess for that last spot, see where you're at, see how it's going. But when you're standing there and you're trading those auto attacks, you start building those Breaking Point stacks. You can sort of invis away, let them change their focus, come back in, get more Breaking Point stacks, and finish it off. From here, I could see an argument for a lot of different things. Tyrant's Monocle for late game would be huge, having that critical strike. Again, used to it was wasted on Taka. Now with the changes, that's pretty powerful. If they're doing a lot of armor to defend against you, a Bonesaw, of course, and then maybe just a good old-fashioned Sorrow Blade just to boost you up and turn you into an absolute beast. If you get that Sorrow Blade, you got that Breaking Point, and you're a little bit tanky. Maybe you've got 3 fountains on the team. You can just stand right in there and then get those Breaking Point stacks up. You are an absolute monster. So that is pretty much it, guys. Again, the first 5 items are pretty, 5 items are pretty standard. That 6th one, always situational for me. Give this a try, see what you think about it. Taka is still a fun hero to play when you get the hang of him. So hope you guys liked the video. Let me know if you want to see more of these. Until next time, Jake, doing my best to help you guys suck less.